man, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like him or hate him, the way that they managed the last two tri-series of this new update has been like really impressive. I mean, like I said, like him or hate him. I know most people are gonna hate him. But the way that they actually played around with the requirements was really kind of smart. Because, bruh, look at this. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing for this final. I mean, this is going to be the first Tri-Series final in a while where not only do I not win the prize car, I also don't come in the third tier or the fourth tier or maybe even the fifth tier. I don't know, man. Look at what I got. I don't know if this is even top 80. I'm going to be honest with you. It might just be top 80 if I max into the 626 MPS if I feel like it, but like I really don't want to. Yeah, I'm just letting this slide. But what I'm saying is that they played this really smart because usually in a brand new update, like the way that they do requirements is that there are going to be like some cars that kind of bleed over to the next requirement if you're lucky enough. And I think one example, if we go all the way back to Great Exhibition, no matter what they did, there was always like, you know, some cars that always overlapped in tri-series that they tried to do. In other words, like if you had the 575 max for the first ever tri-series it was useful for, there was, well, the odds are it was going to be useful again in like the next 4 or 5 tri-series. Another thing that I maybe can think of is maybe like the saline. This has been required in a couple of times as well, you know, during the start of World Expo all the way until, you know, the year of tri-series that we've had. So yeah, this time's a complete opposite. The cars that we needed in the last tri-series and the cars that we need in this tri-series, I'm pretty sure there's only one overlapping car, and that one overlapping car, which I believe is this, the Grand Touring 2.5, doesn't even bring much value to this final anyway. So in a sense, you have to buy the packs all over again. You have to start from scratch and make the best possible hand for this final, and if you want to win the Koenigsegg. And chances are in the next tri-series the requirements will not include any of these cars. I guess another overlapping one would be the RX-7 Evo, which again isn't too useful in this tri-series. So yeah, they played that smart. In terms of like revenue, like if you want to make 2 very good hands for these 2 tri-series, you would have to spend more than you ever have had to before. So like I said, I think most people are gonna hate it, but from like a revenue standpoint, like kind of smart, not gonna lie. And before people are saying that I'm kissing ass or anything like that, like guys, it's not like I'm actually opening the packs. I'm just making a point. I'm not going for the Koenigsegg. There was a time where this was the car that I really wanted. Like it was in my top 3 or top 5 most wanted prize cars in the game. But it's been leaked, not been leaked, but it's been shown literally by Hutch that this does not have a better MRA than the Jesko Absolute. And I really only use this cars for the drag anyway. So it'll be a great fast circuit car, but that's about it. But yeah, I have a maxed out Peugeot T16, so it's not the worst thing to miss out on. That being said though, today's video, I'm actually going to be reviewing the pack over here, which is the, you know, Tri-Series pack. Now, I will say though, if you do have the gold lying around, like the titanium pack isn't that bad, because like every single epic that you can get is actually somewhat decent. Obviously low RQ is still low RQ, but as far as low RQ goes, the low RQs in this pack are actually pretty good in terms of epics. But that's one thing to think about. But anyway, before we get into reviewing the pack, I'm actually going to open one myself. Not because I'm like trying to compete, but mainly because like I like the boosted odds. I like the boosted odds for the same carbon fiber price. It's 20% for an epic, 3% for a legend. We got an epic the last time we did this. I would like the off-roader. I'm not going to say it's a wish list because then I'll never get it, but I would like the Mazda off-roader. I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, at least double ultra rare, which is like amazing. Really love that. I don't need a third 626 though. I don't know why. I actually have a feeling. I genuinely have a feeling it'll be a Mazda 626. I have 2 of them. And, you know, the way that my luck goes is that usually in a new update with a bunch of new cars, I just tend to get the same car over and over. Dude, odds 626 right now. Oh, that's actually goated. My throat hurts. I've been teaching so many boxing classes, so I can't really like shout that much, but like that is goated. That is actually goated. That is such a goated pull. Like, that is a car that I'm definitely gonna max. That is such a good epic to have. It's a great car for the final as well, but like I said, I'm not going for the final. This is just a great car for clubs. Is it categorized? What is it categorized? It's a categorized as a hatchback. Okay, so not saloon, but still it's a 5-seater, right? So yeah, that's so good. That is so adding lock. Yeah, adding lock. Okay, that's actually insane. Cool. We love that. We love that. Anyway, game crash. Perfect time. Let's get to reviewing the pack. Guys, as you know in this series, basically I will give you my opinion on how the pack is in terms of the cars, or how the cars are from the pack in 2 separate occasions. The first one obviously is how they are in a Tri-Series standpoint, and then how they are in a general standpoint. So the best possible hand in my opinion consists of the Mazda 757 and the Sky Active. These 2 legends are going to be like your dry cars, and then these last 3 are going to be for the wet and the 1 lumber mill track set. So I would go for the CX-60, even though that the CX-30 actually is the best car in another scenario. But like, okay, it's a weird thing between these 2 cars, and that's why I'm putting this in prize car winning anyway. The CX-60 is better than the CX-30 in 3 out of 4 track sets, but although it's better than the CX-30, it's not the best available car. Because the best available car is if you have duplicates of the Mazda RX Vision. That being said though, in one of the 4 track sets, the Mazda CX-30 is actually just the best car in general. Like, it's better than the legendaries as well. So it's pretty interesting to see which you value more. But I'm gonna value the CX-60 a little bit more. The car that we just got, yeah, that's like the best, one of the best new cars of the update. So I'm really happy that I got that. And obviously the 3 legends. And then prize car winning is everything that you see over here. So like the Mazda MX-5 GT race car, the CX-30, the 254, 717, etc., and some of the better ultra rares as well. Moving on to possible, or some of the cheaper epics, basically. Like, these are the cars where they're good, but the only reason why I think they're only possible is because if you are matched up against any of the legendaries, you're going to be losing by, 100 or more than 100 points, and that is really detrimental, because don't forget, it's a lot of drags. These epics are good, but they're really meant for twisty situations, even though the Lantis has like 94 MRA. That 0 to 60 and that top speed is not going to keep up with a Mazda 757. Some other decent cars for ultra rares would be cars like the 323 for the wet, the CX-8 for the wet, as well as the Mazda Atenza and the Familia Sport 4. Moving on to unlikely, we have 3 cars. One that we just got alongside the MX-5, which has slick tires, which is a worse version of the epics, which are worse versions of the legendaries. And then we have the Mazda 6 MPS concept, and go see a doc. I think you can't. I don't think it's, honestly, you cannot win the prize car of these 3 in your hand, I'll be honest. The Grand Touring, the CX-7, as well as the MX Cross Sport. So yeah, if you're going for the Koenigsegg, you're gonna need, 5 or at least 3. Not really even 3, right? You need the legends, because let's say that you had the CX-60 and the 3.2, the Mazda 3 2.5. If you don't have the legends to win you big on the drags, you might as well just throw in the towel, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, just letting you know about that. Anyway, we're gonna move on to a general sense. How useful are these cars if you just want to open the pack for fun? Basically what I did at the start of the video. Well, we'll go through with the cars that I know that are really good. This is the 3.25 all-wheel drive. This is the one that we literally just got and is 100% Der Kaiser. Now let's talk about the ultra rares. So this is a new format that I like to use to showcase to you guys how I really judge the cars. So what I've done is I've gone to Top Drives Records and I've filtered by every 4-wheel drive standard tire car, and we have basically all the twisty wet stuff. And I'll tell you what, I'm even gonna add like the twisty, twisty wet and the twisty dry. And now we're gonna look through every single thing. So we start off with the RQ50. Okay, fine, we don't know too much about that, and then we move on with the Flex. So right off the bat, like what I'll tell you from this information that we see over here is that the 2.3 is kind of crap. Like it loses to the Flex everywhere, and then the same RQ. Then we bring in the RQ52, and as you can see, the Flex actually still wins City Street Small and Twisty Circuit, which is really cool. But obviously the 52 wins most races. Then we move on to Le Vorg, that wins most races. Quattro doesn't win anything, but we know Audi's a crap. The CX-9 takes a little bit of wins from the medium and the small. Then we move on to the MX Cross Sport, which isn't able to win anything. So far, basically the MX Cross Sport as well as the CX-7 in my books do not make any impact and therefore not very useful. Le Vorg is a game changer, wins everything, obviously. The CX-8, it takes City Street small, which is not bad. If I took away the Lavorg, it actually is pretty decent, but the Lavorg is just incredible. Audi A3 managed to take hairpin. Hyundai Kona doesn't take anything. Mazda GT takes a little bit, takes the hairpin as well as the slalom. Actually, we've seen this before, that the Mazda 323 GT, I love how it's also called 323. It's actually a really good slalom car. Really, really good slalom ultra rare. We move on to the CX-60 we just got, and as you can see, it doesn't win anything, so not very cool. The CX-90 is pretty decent, especially for a 60, taking a lot of wins away from the Lavorg. Moving on to the 520D, again, not much, man. This CX-90 is actually a car that I actually want. It's actually pretty freaking good. 520D, okay, pretty good in the hairpin road. We want the Glacier Edition, that takes a little bit more, but that 60 RQ CX-90 still holding on to a lot of greens. X-Type, very disappointing, doesn't win anything. The 420i obviously is going to win a lot, and the CX-50 comes last. We take away the BMW, and we can see that the 63 RQ CX-50 is not that bad, and it's just that the 420i is really good. So based on what we just saw, basically what I would say is this: the 323 is pretty damn good. The CX-60 leaves little to be desired. The CX-50 is okay. I just think it's a little bit too expensive. I'd rather go with the 60 RQ, which has a way lower 0 to 60. Although the CX-50, you know, I'm going to put both of them together. I think these two are peas in a pod. This one was really underwhelming, so I put it at the bottom. This was underwhelming as well. I'm not going to put them in hot garbage, though, because four-wheel drive standard tires, you can't go wrong with that. This one is also very middle of the pack, so I'm going to put it in pernicious ulcer. But you know what, though? I'm going to put them all there. I don't think I'm ever going to be using them that much anyway. So those were the ultra rares, right? Now we move on to the four-wheel drive stuff in my other comparison. So over here, let's talk about four-wheel drive. We start off with the Ford RS200. They're all medium ground clearance as well. Moving on is the first one. It's the Mazda 6 MPS concept. And as you can see, it doesn't win anything. Besides the fast circuit, it doesn't win anything else. The Jaguar, okay, as you can see, it kind of trades blows with the Jaguar. Audi comes in, surprisingly, hairpin road pretty strong. S4 takes hairpin again. Delta Integrale takes a lot of greens. Then we bring in the Atenza, and the Atenza is really freaking strong. I'm not going to bring in the Lancer Evolution yet for the comparison. Let's just go higher because I want to show you how strong the Atenza is. So 61 Atenza against 61 Delta, Atenza wins everything. Against a 62 Mazda Familia Sport, same niche by the way, still wins everything. Against a 62 Holden Commodore, still wins everything. Against a 62 Nissan Pulsar, still wins everything besides fast circuit. Against a Mercedes-Benz R63, still wins everything besides fast circuit, rolling, and standing. But as you can see, the Atenza, still ridiculous. 626 RQ64, okay? As you can see, it still wins most. Only loses on the hairpin. Subaru Legacy B4 doesn't win anything. Audi S6 doesn't win anything besides City Street Small. And Audi S1 doesn't win anything. This is how incredible this 61 Mazda Atenza is against 64s. And it's literally winning almost everything. But if you think this is strong, I'm going to bring in the Mitsubishi. Yeah. That thing is kind of broken. So anyway, moving back to the tier list. So we've already seen that this Atenza truly does deserve the Kaiser status. The 626 is okay. It's like a god on the hairpin. That's it. 626, Mazda 6 MPS concept. I think pernicious ulcer. Four-wheel drive medium. I acknowledge that. But it doesn't bring much to the table. Familia is going to be a frequent provider. The Grand Touring, again, not going to bring too much value. I'm going to put it in pernicious ulcer. It's a 53 IQ, medium ground clearance, standard tire, 85 handling front wheel drive car, saloon and 5-seaters. It has its niches. I don't think it's going to be completely useless. Now, moving on, MX-5 Cup. I'm going to put that in a high frequent provider. I think some people would be okay putting it in daily driver. I'm okay if you put it in daily driver. I'm gonna give it a high frequent provider. I would still use a Dodge Circuit EV. Moving on to the Epics now. I want to talk about the slick tire cars. I think they're just frequent providers at best. They're average at best. Here's the thing about these cars. They're pretty good RQ66s and 67s. But no one's going to touch an RQ66 or a 67 because if you want to upgrade an Epic all the way, you're going to go touch a 79 anyway. So, yeah, frequent provider at best, honestly, but they're actually good. They are actually good. 254, I'm gonna put it to Kaiser. TZR, I'm gonna put to Kaiser because within its own niche of front wheel drive, it's actually like, you know, one of the best in class, and it's gonna be better than these two epics as well. And then we have these two standard tire cars. I think like at most they are okay. Like if you can max them out, then yeah, they're gonna be great. But why would you? Because if you want to max a 4-wheel drive standard tire Mazda, everyone's going to go for the Mazda 3 2.5 turbo all-wheel drive anyway, right? So that's just something for thought. RX-7 Evo Group B, I'm going to give that daily driver. It's really good, to be honest. The 0 to 60 is really, really low. I just wish that the handling was a little bit stronger. Then we move on to legendaries. 757, as far as we can see, it's going to be pretty damn good. The 717, though, I don't know how I feel about that. Handling is good. MRA is good. But that 0 to 60 though, it just seems like a discount version of the Lancia Beta Monte Carlo, which is a legendary that I don't even rate that much. And I'm going to put it in frequent provider, but some people are going to be mad at me. The Skyactiv D race car, I'm going to give it Dark Kaiser. The main reason why is because I'm going to give it the same rating I would give the Audi, like I think it was like the Audi saloon car. It's a saloon. That's it. It's just a saloon. The saloon legendary niche is for slick tires, especially for those that can handle really well, as well as the Mazda 6. It's still very niche. So because of that, I acknowledge that I'm gonna give it to Kaiser. MX-5 GT race car, I'm gonna give it frequent provider. It's got a ridiculously low 0 to 64 in RQ80. Literally almost an entire second difference between the MX-5 as well as the 717, but obviously the MX-5 has no MRA. The handling's actually pretty bad. You'd think it'd be better for an MX-5 GT, dude. After 89, really? Top speed isn't there as well. It would be a great epic, honestly, but as a legendary, I don't know. It's one of those legendaries where on paper it seems like a piece of crap, but because the 0 to 60 is so significantly lower than its competition, it is actually like a really good short burst king. And last but not least is the RX Vision. Again, it just doesn't look like that cool. 3,590, bro. You max that out. That's what, 3,394. Most max epics that are really good in this day and age would be capable of beating an RX Vision. But like if I was going to compare all of these cars when they were maxed, then I'll probably bump every single legendary up one. But the reality is, not a lot of you guys are going to be maxing the 717, the MX-5, and the RX Vision anyway, so I'm going to leave them there. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below. Again, at the end of the day, there's not a single car that I believe is genuinely hot garbage, which means that if I were to open the pack again, I wouldn't really feel genuinely disappointed. Overall, this pack will get you value in some way, shape, or form. You're either getting a 4-wheel drive standard tire car, or you're getting a rear-wheel drive slick tire car that handles well, or you're getting like a rear-wheel drive off-roader, or like a 4-wheel drive medium ground clearance car. Like you're getting, you know, pretty good niches. I think the only one that truly is an L is the Grand Touring, but like it's not even that bad. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree. But stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies. They so fine. Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies. They so fine. Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville Atlantic. Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop dead look. Swing it side to side as we slow dance to the night. When I'll hold your perfect hand and take you out just for a ride. We'll share milkshakes at the diner and rebel at every hour. We can watch a drive-in movie, then have romance in the shower.